All right, welcome back. We're talking about this Ibadan Stampede story. Oh my God. I don't even know where to start from. This Ibad.
You start somewhere. You start from somewhere.
I know. But I'm going to read this special report. Maybe even too special. I'll give you like a quick brief part of the special story. So this is about the Olori, the former Olori of the Ooni of Ife, and the journalist Oriyomi Amzat. So I'm looking at a report here. This was from earlier today on Punch Nigeria. It says Oyo files. So speaking of Oyo, we're just talking about Oyo installing Alaafin for Oyo. But this same
Mm-hmm.
drama is also going on in Oyo at the same time. Oyo files murder charges against Oni's ex-queen and others. The Oyo State government has filed 8 counts bordering on murder and manslaughter against the ex-queen of the Oni of Ife, Naomi Shilakunwola, the proprietor of an Ibadan-based radio station, Oriyomi Amzat, and the principal of Islamic High School, Bashorun Ibadan, Abdullahi Fasasi, over the December 18th, 2024 Fun Fair Stampede, during which 35 children died. All right, so they just filed that, I guess, recently. Been locked up since then. Just in case you are not aware of the original story, there was a giveaway festival of some sort that was supposed to happen in Badon. They were expecting 5,000 children. Some children started to climb the fence, courtesy of their parents, trying to get into the venue. But there was a stampede and a bunch of children. Some people said 70 children, some people said 35 children. They passed away, but ever since then, they've been locked up. They were behind bars during Christmas and all that kind of stuff. So that's the first report. Then in another report, right, they're saying that they've granted them bail. Okay, so I'm looking at Gazette Nigeria. They said court grants Oni's ex-wife Naomi Oriyomi 10 million naira bail. The Oyo State High Court has granted the former wife of Oni of Ife, the same peoples, right? And the
Yeah, and
broadcaster.
when people point to the granting of bail, I hope they
Mm-hmm.
understand that that system itself is not something that runs its entire gamut until the conditions of that bill or the terms of the bill terms are fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
So let nobody,
Right, exactly.
yeah, let nobody pick some drum of joy or celebration, thinking, oh, they are
Yes.
now out of custody, and
Mm-hmm.
the terms would have to
Are
be
they out of custody now?
I'm not yet sure. But
Okay, we're
when you
not
also
sure.
look at the amended charges, the charges that have been preferred against them,
Mm-hmm.
all almost 18 altogether, you will
Yeah.
go back to the point being considered ab initio that for
So
somebody,
before we go to that, I want to give you this statements from the ruling of the bail application today, and then you can take it from there.
right,
So delivery ruling on the bail application on Monday, Justice Kamorudin Olawoyin
thank you. You really
admitted
pronouncing it the proper way as a broadcaster.
Olaoye
Yeah.
admitted the ex-queen and her co-defendant to 10 million naira bail each with two reliable sureties. Mr. Olaoye said the magistrate court lacked jurisdiction to hear the case due to
Mm-hmm.
the murder charge contained in the charge sheet. He said there was no place for holding charges in the Constitution and keeping them in custody would amount to an infringement on their rights. The judge said the stampede was not a premeditated act, so the defendants were entitled to bail. The judge directed that the defendants submit their international passports to the court and not grant any press interview on print, on social media during the trial. I just wanted to give you that before you go and give your
Yes,
statement. Yep.
yes. Uh, Thank you very much. What with the point I was going to make uh, is that ab initio, everybody had thought, oh, Mr. Oriyomi would carry on with some uh, measure of indignation or sense of entitlement because of his perceived closeness to the governor of Oyo State. If you go, I mean, by what we said in our introductory report, we said the sense of fairness demonstrated by Governor Seyi Makinde concerning the selection process of the Alaafin of Oyo would also signal one thing that, okay, this man is implementing whatever he's doing in office as somebody who is mindful of his oath of office, not doing anything that would suggest that, oh, is giving undue advantage to anybody, maybe because of perceived closeness or whatever. So if he has upheld impartiality in the case of Alaafin of Oyo, now from what we have seen, the charges being amended, everybody that thought, oh, because Hamzat Oriyomi, with due respect, because whether he is engulfed now or not, anybody will give it to Hamzat Oriyomi, particularly his heroic conduct concerning the murder of Mr. Adegoke. Remember that man that was killed at a so-called Hilton Hotel in
Right.
Ilefe,
Yes,
and
yes.
the whole thing was pinned on the owner, the well-known uh, owner, Prince Adedoyi of Ilefe. So the fact that that man could champion, uh, call for justice for the late Adegoke would also let us, give us that benefit of the doubt that he is not taking it for granted that automatically the governor would switch support for him. He did well at some point in the past, but people now are saying, well, he is somebody who has carried on with some air of arrogance and condescension and what have you. Things happen in life. It is not our place in the media to begin to pass all kinds of uh, what's it called? Judgment, especially since the court has not made any pronouncement. But what we're saying here is that demonstrably, if anybody thinks this is going to be some easy ride, not just for uh, former Olori Naomi, everybody continues to say, oh, Queen of Ife. No, just because there is a king, the wife does not automatically become a queen.
Right.
She is known in Yoruba land as Olori. Let
Right.
nobody bring what a well-known associate in Ayede Ogbese has been doing. She's not queen. It's not equivalent of a queen. She's just queen consort. Simple.
Queen
If it's a
consort.
man, queen consort. That is the meaning of Olori in English.
Mm,
So people should
mm,
speak proper grammar and not come and cause confusion. You cannot bifurcate the throne, you know,
mm.
because you have a king. So automatically the wife must translate to a queen. Where was she installed as such? She was never installed as such. But because what's it called? Chest will be thumping chest
Mm.
because of conjugal connection and ties and connections. She's just queen consort. So anybody thinking, having that wishful thought that, oh, this is going to be an easy pass because of the connection to his
To the honey.
royalty.
Mm-hmm.
No, and he does not also want to be scandalized.
Mm.
Nobody, yes, because when this happens to the children of the poor, nobody ever um, even gives it a second thought before pronouncements are made. So, and in the eyes of the law, whether in Nigeria or anywhere in the world, is about equality of souls, translating to equality before the law. The law that governs the strong and influential is the same that also uh, takes care of common folks like you and I. That said, the days ahead would show if the process will be fair, if it will be just, and if justice will be served to the memory of the young ones, that is, their children, almost, I mean, maybe about 35 or more of them who lost their lives in the stampede. I do not want to rehash what we have already reported. Like,
Hmm.
I mean, somebody having just 5,000, provision for 5,000 people and then going ballistic on an influential medium like Agidigbo, and then
Mm-hmm.
people from everywhere started trooping into that Islamic school. And we were told, the principal had said, no, through a memo in black and white. Ultimate approval should be given for this through appropriate government uh, office. But they said, having a sense of entitlement, Mr. Oriyomi decided to act as an authority unto himself. We do not know. We cannot jump into conclusions. But one thing we know is that we will follow the facts wherever they live. Just like all of us in the media did when Mr. Abzat Oriyomi was going after Adegoke. And if, going after the matter of Adegoke, going after Adedoyin, and let nobody in Adedoyin camp begin to rejoice. Oh, he did this, he did, because when you see corrupt and fraudulent people, that is what they do when things happen to people in the media. Like the judge has indicated, this is well above the magistrate's pay grade, and that is the law. It's the fact of the law in Nigeria. Magistrate or magistrate courts do not try murder cases, period. And it has moved to a court of higher jurisdiction. In this case, the High Court. They will do their job. We will hear the pronouncement when things final. We don't want to join the madding crowd that will be speculating or speculating around what we all know nothing about as uh, ordinary folks. We will leave that to the lawyers and uh, Nigeria's criminal code. That
Hmm.
said, I suggest that we continue to watch events unfold. But so far, so good. The rich and the influential also cry.
So I have a couple of concerns that I want to say about this before we move on to the next story.
Yeah.
This is just my own authentic because I'm not following all the way, but I kind of get the gist, right?
Yeah.
People set up an event, right? And a bunch of people decided to evade the venue ahead of the scheduled time. That's what I'm getting. Um, unless that now this is what I'm trying to find out now. Unless they have been found to have some ulterior motives, or maybe they are sacrificing people, or they are, like the court said, some kind of premeditated situation.
Yeah, because
We don't have any of this.
yeah,
So why is this not treated as a public mishap, where we know in Nigeria that typically there will be a problem with regards to if emergency services were called, they probably didn't show up on time. We know that this is a common thing in Nigeria. We also know that yes, they probably are trying to improve on that, but the point is that there was a public mishap, an accident, a crazy accident that happened. Why are the organizers locked up for weeks in a row, and then they're talking about the idea of murder charge when in fact there's no premeditated situation being found out, there's no investigation? I guess they're investigating now, but what am I missing here? This doesn't make any sense to me.
what you and I may be missing here is the fact that there ought to have been requisite arrangements in place to mitigate what is a disaster which everybody felt was avoidable. Now, you will be talking of culpable homicide. Yes, it may not be with an intent to do that, but when you fail to put in place the appropriate uh, arrangement,
Measures for a crowd like that, I understand that part, right? Is that
yes,
what you're saying? I understand that part, but it's still the idea. The worst they could come up with is manslaughter. Why is there murder coming into this conversation? Is my
even for anything to be so weighty that it would require being seen as manslaughter. I mean, you understand that loss of life must have been involved, whether advertently or inadvertently, knowingly or unknowingly. Now, the point here is this: if
Mm-hmm.
these people are going to be charged, how about the government that also made the condition right?
Thank you. That's
Or
part of my questions.
yeah, for such initiatives to come from a private individual. So maybe anybody, I mean, whoever really wants to seek after the truth or the light in this matter should also be asking questions that, okay, the people responsible, the institutions responsible for fostering hunger,
Mm-hmm.
one, inadequacy on Nigerians, why are they not being made to answer to this? At least, to some extent, there ought to be some public hearing on this through the various lawmaking bodies and ombudsmen, public complaints commissions, and what have you. But here is the situation. Somebody was not supposed to advertise that people should be coming at about 5 a.m.
Okay.
Yes, like I said, I don't want to put anything on Mr. Abdul Oriyomi. I want to really give him
But
a
they
right that
announced. But they announced that. They announced that. Is that what you're saying?
he himself was said to have suggested the idea of people coming at 5 a.m.
Come early
And
so you can get something.
we don't know what
Or so you can get
that was.
inside. Mm-hmm.
It's just that people should come. He himself came very late. He came very late. If you see the double standard that is involved in some of these things, but don't let us go there, because if we go, we may be crossing a certain line into
Okay.
yeah.
I'm patiently waiting because
Yeah,
for
I don't want us to carry out the equivalent of what would be seen as a media lynch.
yeah,
You
right,
know,
right, right, right. I'm
yeah.
patiently
So
waiting. It just doesn't add up for me yet. That's all.
it doesn't. It really looks like that, but
Mhm.
lives were lost. This is where glory. I mean,
Yeah, but that
one glorious life.
so sorry, sir. The fact that lives were lost will not be the first, second, third, or last time that happens in Nigeria.
All right. If we take
So
that path, please
uh-huh,
wait. If we take that path,
uh-huh.
that open you want to embrace there, please. We
No,
must not lose
no, no.
ourselves.
I
This is
promise I'm
one
not going that
tragedy.
direction.
Just wait. This is
Mhm.
one tragedy too many. Simple.
No, I'm
Don't
not going. I
forget.
promise I wasn't going that direction. I
Yeah, I do
promise.
not want it to look like we are minimizing. Oh, it's been happening. So why is this
No,
one
no,
special?
no, no, no. I promise. I promise I wasn't going that direction.
Okay,
The point I
land your
was
thought.
making there, the point I was making there is that there are so many things going on. There's so many faults with Nigerian systems that unfortunate situation like that continues to happen, and we need to address them from an institutional and systemic standpoint.
Then
This
you come back.
seems
You're coming back to the way all of us now see it.
so. This seems like it's a witch hunt on this particular individuals. That's what
No,
I'm getting at.
what is
So it's sad. It's sad that happened, but in order to prevent that from happening, because it's one too many, right?
right?
We need to address this from a standpoint of institutional and systemic issues.
Yes, not even that. That culture of impunity. For example, why would a stadium be filled all because they want people to come and pick applications for serving in the immigration service? At the end of the day, people died. The minister
Exactly.
who was behind it, who was the mastermind, and the entire thing was driven by objectives of fraud and corruption. People who have never made anything in their lives were being um, taxed, so to say, extorted to drop certain amount of money, pick application form, and it's not even certain if they will be given employment. At the end of the day, many of them died. Nothing happened. We can recount several instances, even
I,
in the wake, of this stampede in Ibadan.
mhm.
Another happened at the Catholic Church premise in Abuja. Another one at Okija, and
Right.
so on and so forth. It's got to, there has got to be a star to that kind of craze and madness. But first, it has to come from the government that made bad laws,
Mhm.
bad rules, removing subsidy, and then totaling the economy, and everything went into casket.
So we've got thank you, sir. We've got about two more stories to cover in the next 20 minutes. But before we go into that, I want to give you like an ideal situation, right? So a young you get a gospel artist, a popular gospel artist from Nigeria. His name is Tosin B. He was in our church 2 nights ago. Our church will comfortably sit maybe 50 people comfortably, right? If you want to be really comfortable, maybe 45, right? But that place was jam packed because it's a popular guy who also posted on the social media that he was around. So the place was jam packed. It's probably some overflow situation, you know. God forbid if something had happened, right? So people were standing all the way through in terms of his performance, his delivery for like 2-3 hours. We have like a policeman, an officer that stands by the door on a normal service day, right? That stands by the gate just to make sure that people are passing, parking lot, and all that kind of stuff. Normally we have that, but as soon as I pulled into the church that day, I noticed that they had another extra hand, people that were not called before, but the police was hanging out at the very corner of the church premises, just in case. So even though, because the police could see that there was a abnormal number of cars parked, and so instead of harassing people, the police just kind of like stood by, right? If anything had happened, the first people they would have asked is that where were the public service people, police, firemen? If anything looks crazy, why didn't you answer to it? They would have done an investigation as opposed to, oh, let's pick up the pastor and let's go and lock him up first for the next 2 to 3 weeks. You see where I'm going with this, right?
Yes, I
Because there
completely
wasn't.
agree, but thank God
So
there are
if it
no
comes out
subsidy.
to, sorry, if it comes out to become, oh, he breached the rules, he cut corners, he did not do what he was supposed to do to get the proper permit, then they might end up picking it up for real in that manner, right? Like, did he have any ulterior
And,
motive?
and by
But
way of
Nigeria go the other way
no,
around.
all I know, Nigeria
Okay,
did not go the other way around.
I'm listening, sir.
Please, in this
Oh, first
case,
of all, quick shout out to Life with Natu and Mr. Bello Tawo. Thanks for being in the chat. I appreciate you. Said greetings to you, sir, and from Mondo State. Shout out to Mr. Bello Tawo. Go
thank you
ahead,
so
sir.
much.
Yeah.
Please let them know I'm sending my best wishes and appreciation.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
let me tell you,
Mm-hmm.
all that you have said should have been done in Nigeria. For example, when the school principal allegedly wrote to Mr. Oriyomi, see, I'm restraining myself not to go the full urge because I do not
Mm-hmm.
want to carry out, as an experienced journalist, I do not want to be involved in what will be like trying stuff before
Mm-hmm.
conclusions are drawn
You
by
don't
the
want to
court of,
prosecute or
yes,
convict them online.
yes, because I've been in a situation before during the trial of J.T. Husseini
Mm-hmm.
before the Code of Conduct Tribunal in Nigeria. I run the entire confession of J.T. Husseini, and
Mm-hmm.
that almost threw me into prison for like 3 months because the tribunal chairman was threatening fire and brimstone. I do not want to go there. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm telling you, and you know the fallout of that entire thing for me, and how
Mm-hmm.
it radically changed my life, almost got killed. But I do not want to go that route this time around. The point I'm telling you is that when that school principal wrote to Amzat Oriyomi,
Mm-hmm.
pushing back, oh, you must go to the Ministry of Education to get approval for this, that he did not do it. That in itself has
Okay.
opened up that
That's a
avenue.
big deal. That's a big
Yes,
deal. Yes.
that
Yes.
itself, he has opened himself for that kind of thing. People have approached us, oh, campaign in support of Oriyomi. I said, we will not do that. We will not
Mm.
do that because for too many people, for too many whatever. You see, people try to look at journalism as a kind of cause of influence. When things happen to other people, we are quick to report. It happens to us, we are reluctant. We have seen it too often. Same thing for people in the law profession. They behave as if, I mean, lawyers, and I'm a lawyer in training, and I'm mindful of what I'm saying. Sometimes lawyers behave as if they are above the law. So many people do this in Nigeria. Any opportunity you give to them, EFCC officials, they think, oh, they are above the law. It cannot continue like that. And that is why I congratulate your pastor. If anything untoward had happened, this is America. Ola, let me tell you, this system will prop people up, and it knows how to drop people down. And all this, I mean, this will not even be subject of any public debate. You will just see people.
I mean, I guess I'm saying the accountability, to check for accountability, will go in so many directions rather than just
that's right.
personal.
And that is the same we are saying. Like I said, the government have made that bad pronouncement that led to hunger in Nigeria, and then a Naomi. Naomi herself who rose from hunger now is promising what is above our, above our pay grade to helpless citizens and little children. Can you imagine that?
Right. So the accountability must go. It must go in this. I guess it has to go in this direction.
In all directions.
Yeah, but I'm waiting for okay, firefighters, policemen, public services, people that offer this kind of permits in the first place, people that also enforce it, people that make sure if you see 5,000 people entering one place,
it's me. Indeed, it is right for you to ask those questions, for us to ask those questions. That is why we say this must expand beyond Hamzat Oriyomi, Naomi, or Mr. Fasasi, the school principal, who is now
exactly
caught in the net of all this planlessness. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Please hit the like button, join the conversation, because I'm very sure I was completely off with this conversation, but I'm here to learn. Please hit the like button, share, subscribe, turn up your notifications. We have some other stories around the world. We'll be right back.